Hi everyone, this is Sean from Marriage in the Making here. I just thought I'd talk a little bit about marriage in Western societies, being kind of built up through friendship and dating towards marriage, like layers of a cake. So now, this would not necessarily relate to other societies where marriages might be arranged, like places like India, for example. So, and also back in Jesus's day, marriages would have been arranged as well. So, the whole process of building up this cake would have actually been done within the confines of marriage. But obviously, our Western societies, we tend to get to know the person first before marrying them, and make a judgment on whether the person that we're getting to know or dating is marriage material during that process. So anyway, here's our marriage built up in layers like a cake. So there's an example of that. So you'd start kind of layer by layer. So obviously the starting layer, which would be where you become friends. Then in that process, you may want to get to know them better. So you build another layer to the cake, which would be becoming good friends, and assuming that there's no red flags that have come up in that process, and that you're continuing to be more interested in the other person. You build up another layer in the cake, which would become best friends. And that's very important in a marriage relationship, that you marry your best friend, somebody that you're so comfortable with that you can actually share everything that's on your heart, your dreams, your visions, your struggles, and they do the same with you. So it's particularly important from Christian point of view, that you're able to pray with the person that you become best friends with, so that you can support each other and look out for one another, as Ecclesiastes 4 talks about, how two are better than one, and that one can have trouble keeping themselves warm, but two can keep themselves warm together, and that a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken or not quickly broken. So that's one example of that. Interpretation of that is where Jesus is like the third person or the third part of the relationship that helps bind the husband and wife together in love. So you want to be best friends with your husband or wife when you get married, or when you're thinking of getting married. Added to the friendship cake is going to be the icing, or the frosting, as they say in America, or glaze that you might put on the cake. That would be the physical attraction. So you're hoping that the physical attraction gets added to the fact that you've already become best friends. Now, it's not necessarily so that the physical attraction is only going to get added on after you become best friends. I mean, it's actually going to sort of develop as you're becoming good friends and best friends with the opposite, with your opposite partner. So I would imagine that the physical attraction's not going to suddenly get added on finally at the end of becoming best friends, or although it may work like that, but it's more likely that it's going to develop over time as you're becoming best friends. So then at that point, after your physical attraction, the next stage in the relationship is going to be the cherry on the top, or in this case, the strawberries on the top of the cake, and that relates to sex or physical intimacy. So you're going to have all of those pieces hopefully in place: friendship, best friends, physical attraction. So you're going to want to have sex with your opposite partner, but obviously from Christian perspective, you're wanting the marriage to come in before that actually takes place. Yeah. So I would say that that's the general direction in which it's kind of healthy to go in our relationships in Western societies. I would say that it's probably about 90% of the time that Christian couples kind of work things out that way in our nations or cultures. But there is also another option, and that would be where you start from physical attraction. So that may well be 10% of the time, just my rough estimate. Now, physical attraction, or starting from the point of physical attraction, unfortunately, is not the most reliable place to start from. And why I say that is because you've only got, you end up having kind of two strong options. Well, particularly one option is stronger than the other, and that's sex or becoming friends. Now, obviously, the healthier way to start things would be to head towards becoming friends and building things up from that perspective. But actually, because if you're physically strongly attracted to somebody, because they think they're beautiful, or there's something, their physique is very appealing to you, then it's you're more likely, or how would I say this? You're more tempted to want to head towards sex, which obviously, as we know, is not something that we're encouraged to do outside of marriage or before marriage. So that's the difficulty about starting with a strong physical attraction as your starting point within a relationship. I mean, it can work such that you get married from a physical attraction starting point, and then within the marriage you're kind of becoming friends and becoming good friends and becoming best friends and developing everything within the marriage. But that's a very dangerous place, or dangerous way of building a marriage, not actually having the cake in place before you get married. So if you do happen to be physically attracted or strongly physically attracted to someone, it's important to somehow stick the sex or the physical intimacy side of things on the shelf, somehow not allow that to cloud your vision, and then go through the process of becoming friends and becoming good friends and becoming best friends to add to the physical attraction, because it's important to have that cake in place and not base your marriage on physical attraction, because that comes and goes within marriage. But the friendship side of things, that's a much stronger foundation to have within your marriage, and it's just such an important thing. And then obviously adding the sex then after you get married. So that's just a few thoughts on how marriages might get built up within our Western societies. And just to add to this, it's actually not really a bad thing if you're not physically that attracted to your partner to begin with, because what's more important is that you become best friends, and obviously that takes time, being with them and seeing how they react in different situations, perhaps seeing their family situations and how the husband or potential husband might treat his mother, for example, and how the potential wife and what her relationship might be with her father and things like that. So you want to kind of take time, obviously, in developing the friendship to see if things are going to work out between each other and how you react in different situations, because that's going to give you an idea of what it's going to be like when you're married. So you just want to be careful that if the physical attraction's not there, that you don't just suddenly stick someone in the friend zone simply because you're not that strongly attracted to them. Because as soon as you do that, then you're going to absolutely cut the cake off in such a way that no physical attraction is going to end up being part of it. So just a kind of forewarning on that one, because our society ingrains or tries to push into us that physical attraction is such an important thing, then we can get that thinking in our head that, I'm not that physically attracted to someone, so therefore there's no way we can head towards being married, and then you actually sort of stop the cake from properly being built because you've friend zoned somebody. Just a few thoughts on building up marriage like layers of a cake there. So thanks for listening. Bye for now.